You're welcome to this video. My name is Eugene Bassi, and this is the third video in the series of videos I've been making. And the purpose of this video is to try to explain to us and get us to understand how the programs that make up the Forsa smart contract, the structure of each of the program, how the system is designed to distribute the Tron cryptocurrency as they come in. Remember, in Forsage smart contract, the system allows us to keep 100% of whatever comes in. You understand? So we'll learn to see how each of these programs goes about distributing this system, the Trons as they come in. Then I'm also going to look at, in the WhatsApp group, I made a chart explaining to give the members an idea of the potential earning in smart contract. So here in this video also I try to help them demonstrate how those figures are arrived at. Then finally we also need to look at some rules that must be followed in order to ensure that you don't lose an earnings that should come to you. Okay, so that is the essence of this video. So we go straight now to each of the programs. Okay, now Forsage has three programs: Forsage X3, X4, and XGOLD. We have in previous video looked at Forsage X3 program. We have looked at X4 program. In today's video we are going to examine the XGOLD program. All right, this particular one. So we go straight into trying to explain it. So I'm going to click on this to expand it. So this is the Forsage XGOLD program. And the first thing I want to say here is that, like X3 program and Forsage X4 program, XGOLD program has 15 levels, from level 1 down to level 15 here. As you see here, this is 15. Okay, then each of the levels is made up of what? A matrix. All right, each of the levels is made up of a matrix. You understand? And the matrix will only appear when you activate a particular level. Okay, if you look at this here, 3 levels have been activated: level 1 and level 2, level 3. Notice that the matrix of each of the 3 levels are identical. So all the matrices in all 15 levels are identical. Okay, you understand? So what differs in the matrices of every level is the cost of activating the matrix. It differs. So if you see here, and the cost is what is written on top. This is 200. That is 200 trons is the cost to activate level 1. It costs 400 trons to activate level 2, 800 trons to activate level 3, down to level 15. All right. So like I said, all the metrics in all 15 levels are identical. So what we are going to do now, we are going to expand one particular the metrics of just one level, maybe level 1, and use that one to explain how the Forsage XGOLD system is structured, and how how it's also structured to earn, how you distribute the smart contract, the Tron that comes in, you understand, and the rules. So we are just going to expand one of them. So let's expand that of level 1. To expand it, just click on the top. The yellow box at the top here is going to expand. So this has expanded. Okay, now if you're looking at this is a typical XGOLD matrix. All right, here this ID here, you see here, this is the ID of the owner of the matrix, and this is the ID of the person directly above the owner of the matrix. That is 206038 is directly above, and the owner of this matrix is 223378. All right, now if you look down here, you see that the Forsage XGOLD program matrix consists of 30 slots arranged in 4 rows. Okay, 30 slots arranged in 4 rows. This is row 1, row 2, row 3, row 1, row 2, row 3, and row 4. Row 1 has 2 slots, row 2 has 4 slots, row 3 has 8 slots, and row 4 has 16 slots. Added together, that it amounts to 30 slots. Okay, 30 slots. Okay. Now, one last thing about the structure before we go to the earning. In X3 program, we said in the video that X3 program doesn't allow for teamwork. That is, the slots in a particular matrix are only filled by those sponsored by the owner of that matrix. But in X4 program, a slot in a matrix is filled by at least two members of the team, can be filled by 2 members of the team. That is, in other words, a slot appears in the matrices of 2 members. You understand? But in XGOLD, a slot can actually be filled by one of 4 members of the team who have activated into that level. You understand? So, in other words, you can say that a slot appears in the matrix of 4 members and that slot can be filled by any of the 4 members who in whose matrix that slot appears. Now let me demonstrate with one. Let's take a look at this. You see this one here I circled here. This is actually slot number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is slot number 15 in this matrix owned by ID 223378. Okay, but this slot also falls in the matrix of this guy directly above. It is actually slot number 1 in his own matrix. And in this person here, it also falls in the matrix of this person here. This person, I put a line here. ID, I can't see the ID here. This is actually, this one is actually 1, 2, the third matrix in his own, the third slot in his own matrix. And it also falls in this other guy's matrix. It is first 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the 7th matrix in this guy's own, 7th slot in this guy's own matrix. Why in this person's own is slot number 15. You see that it appears in 1, 2, 3, 4 members matrix. So it can be filled by any of the persons sponsored by these 4 persons who activate this slot first. You understand? So you see that there is a greater allowance for teamwork in XGOLD program. So a particular slot may not necessarily be filled by you, by your efforts, or by members of your team. It can be filled by any of the members, any of the members referred by any of the 4 persons in which matrices that particular slot appears. So there's a greater allowance for teamwork in XGOLD program. Now, I hope that is clear. Having said this, now let's look at how the system is designed to distribute the Tron as they come in. All right. Now, if you look at this here, you see this upward pointing arrow here. It tells us something that this first 2 slots on the first row, once they are filled, the owner of this matrix, which is ID 223378, actually doesn't get anything. The money is distributed to the team members above him. Okay, he doesn't get anything from this first row. Then from the second row here, from the second row here, let me clear up. This second row, once they are filled, any of this, the 4 slot in this second row, when they are filled, the system actually sends 20% of the cost of each slot to him. So he gets 20% from here, 20% from here, 20% from here, and 20% from this one. 20 times 4 is what? 80%. Put that at the back of your mind. So from the second row, he gets 20% from 4 slots. You understand? That makes 80%. Now, from the third row here, once the third row has how many slots here? That is 8 slots. And from any of these slots that is taken, that is filled, the system actually sends 30% of the cost to the owner of this matrix. So you know that there are what, 8 slots in the third row. So 30% times 8 is actually what, 240. Put that at the back of your mind. All right. Then from the fourth row here, whenever any of the slot is filled here, the system sends 50% of the cost of activating those slots here to this, the owner of the matrix. You understand? And note on the fourth row there are 16 slots. So 50 times 15, if you do the math, that is what, 800%. So 50% times 16 is 800%. Okay, so this is how the system distributes this thing here. Now if you add all this percentage together, from the first row it gets nothing, 0. From the second it gets 20% times 4, that is how much, and 20% times 4, that's 80. The third row it gets 30% times 8, that is 240. Then the last row it gets 50% times 16, that is 800. So let's do the maths. Let's punch the calculator and see what that will amount to. Okay, we said from level 1 it gets, the first row it gets nothing. The second row it gets 20% times 4, that is 80%, plus the third row it gets 30% times 8, that is 30 times 8, 3 times 8 times 3 is 24, that is 240%. Then from the last row it gets, okay, let me make it clearer. So from the first row it gets 0%. From the second one it gets 20 times 4, which is 80%. Then from the third row you get 30 times 8, which is what, 240%. Then from the fourth row you get what, 50% times 16, that is 800. That is plus 800%. If you sum that together, that gives you 1120%. Okay, then from the 1120%, 100%, that is the last 250% that fills the last 2 rows, is used to do what, to renew the level so that it continues to end. So if we subtract what, 100 from this leaves us with a net earning, a net profit from activating a particular level in XGOLD to be what, 1020%. So this is 1020%. So you see, so by the time a member finishes filling all of these metrics, when all the slots, 30 slots are filled, it is said that the member has actually completed what, one cycle in this matrix. So you see, at that point in time, you see here, this 0 here will increase by 1, it will become 1. So the person has completed one cycle. And when the member has completed one cycle, the system will use the last 2, any of the last 2 slots here, the 50% that come, 50-50, making 100, to renew the system. So the person would have completed one cycle, and once the person has completed one cycle, it would have made a total of how many percentage? 1020%. You understand? Of the cost of that. So let's look at this. This is level 1. The cost of activating level 1 is what? 200 trons. And 200 trons, 1020% of 200 trons is actually what? 1000% is times 10 the cost. So 1000% of what? 200 is what? 2000. Then 20% of 200 is what? 40. So add 2000 to 40, that gives you a total of what? 1040 trons. So for every time that a member actually fills the metrics in level 1, the member would have earned, for level 1, the member would have earned 1040 trons. This explains how we arrived at this 2040 trons. You understand? So the cost of activating level 2 is actually what? 400 trons. Let's look at it. So let me go back here. The cost of activating level 2 is what? 400 trons. And we say for every time a matrix is filled, for every time a member makes a complete circle in a matrix in a particular level, it would have earned 1040%. You understand? 1040%. So 1040% of 400 trons, it will be what? Multiply 400 by 10, you will have what? Multiply 400 by 10, you have what? 4,000. Multiply 400 by 10, you have 4,000. Then 20% of 4,000 is what? 80. So 4,000 plus 80, that gives you 4,080 trons. So for every time, that's how we arrive at this. So for every time a member completes a cycle in level 2 on XGOLD program, 4,080 trons would have been sent to his wallet. A total of 4,080 trons. So the same thing applies to every other one. So we can continue like that. So let's look at the third one, which is what? 800 trons. The cost of activating level 3 is what? 800 trons. And once the member has actually activated, has completed one cycle here, he would have earned 1,020% of 800 trons. So 1,000% of 800 trons is what? 800 times 10, which is 8,000. Then plus 20%. 20% is what? 1,600. So add 1,600. Maybe 1,600 plus 8,000. That will give you what? 1,600. Maybe 160 plus what? 8,000 will give you what? 8,160 trons. That's how we arrived at this. You understand? So for this, so you could, the same thing applies to all the other levels down to level 15. So this is how we arrived at this. So this is a number, the amount of trons that would have been sent to your wallet before you complete what? One circle. Okay, now before I leave, don't forget two things I want to mention here. In Forsage XGOLD, as soon as a slot is being filled, the system automatically sends the amount of trons that should go to you is sent automatically at that instance when the member is activating a particular level. The sending of the trons to the wallet is done automatically at that instance. So it's not something that you wait until after a week or after you complete a metric before it sends. No, it sends it as it comes. So in other words, if you activate level 1 and you are feeling it, like you see this one now is already being filled, you'll be seeing if this person open his wallet, you'll be seeing 40 trons. You'll be seeing 60 trons, and you would have been seeing here 100 trons coming at different times. You understand? As these levels are being activated. Then finally, before I move, the most beautiful thing about the Forsage smart contract is this. Get this very clearly, and this is where that's what makes Forsage smart contracts a massive potential. Right now, if you notice, this person has activated 3 levels here. Level 1, this is level 1, level 2, and level 3. What this means is this person can earn from level 1, 2, and 3 concurrently. In other words, if anybody activates level 1, let's say Yinka activates level 1 today, and Rose activates level 2 today, Joe activates level 3 today. That means the owner of this account here is actually going to earn from level 1, level 2, and level 3, depending on the role that they activated. So just imagine that 10 persons today in your team activates to level 1, 2, and level 3. You can see what can come in. So there is really no limit to what you can earn in Forsage smart contract. All right, and this happens for life. You understand? Remember, once you activate a level, you end on that level for life. The number of circles you can make for a particular level is unlimited. All right. Then finally, one last thing you should know about. So we have seen how it is structured. We have seen how we earn, and we have seen how we arrived at. These figures here. So the last thing that remains before we end this video is the simple rule you must remember. You understand? In this, so that you don't lose money. Now the rule is this, and it's the same for X3 and X4 program, is that once you activate a particular level, on or before you complete one cycle, that is on or before you get all the slots filled in a particular level, ensure that you would have activated the next higher level on or before the first you make the first cycle on your present metrics or level. If you don't, let's say you don't activate and you complete one cycle, let's say you are on the first level, which is you're on the first level now, which is 100, this 200 level, and you don't activate the next one, and this your 200, the whole 30 slots are filled, and you are on the counts here, and you are here is filled, and the system renews it for you, and you are on your second cycle. If you don't activate this one, what it means is this: from the second cycle, whatever comes in here, this 20%, 30%, and 50% from each of these ones will not be going to your wallet. It will be going to your sponsor's wallet. That means you are losing trons. So you don't want that to happen. Therefore, on or before you make your first cycle in every level, ensure that you activate the next higher level. This explains why the owner of this account too has activated 1, 2, 3. So this person must ensure that. So as it stands now, this person can earn from level 1. The person can earn from level 1 and level 2 and level 3. Okay, but on level 3, you only earn here from the first cycle, unless he ensures that before this one gets filled, he has activated level 4. Otherwise, if he doesn't, he will only earn from the first cycle here, but from the second cycle, he won't be earning. All the monies will be going to the sponsors, and I'm sure nobody wants to lose anything on this system. So I hope you find this very useful. I hope you understand this. If you have any questions on what you have done so far, you could drop your questions in the group or in the media, whatever media this is uploaded into, and I will attend to that. So summarily, we have looked at the program, how it is structured. You understand, knowing how it is structured. We have also learned how the system is designed to distribute the smart contracts. In other words, how the members will earn in the system. We have seen how these figures in the potential earning chart, which I did for my group, we've seen how we arrived at the figures for just one cycle, and there is no limit to the number of cycles you could make. And finally, we have seen the rules you must remember to ensure that you don't lose money in this. All right, so guys, next we are going to take your time and look at the videos for X3, X4, and XGOLD for the structure, earnings, and the rules. The next videos we'll be doing is how to make strategic moves. You know, in Forsa smart contract, there are blind moves and there are strategic moves. Blind moves will only make your money get stuck. But if you are making strategic and intelligent moves, you are sure that you are earning your trons. You start earning from your trons very quickly and much more profitably. So I hope you enjoy this. My name is Eugene Bassi, and I'm signing off at this moment. Thank you for your time.